Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I'm a professional intuitive empath. So good to share energy with you. Thank you for inviting me into your lives, homes, and energy today. This is a quick one for my OGs, really. This has nothing to do with anything. This is not pop culture related. If you watched the video that I did where I talked about have you ever been swallowed, it has the octopus imagery and all of that stuff, there was something I very specifically talked about having happen. And if you saw the screenshot or the thumbnail for this video, it's a lemon blueberry cake. And I said in that video that the person brought me a lemon blueberry cake to celebrate my 1000K on my videos. It was very sweet. No matter whatever else happened between me and that person, there were so many beautiful gestures that she did do. That's why I didn't understand how it went so left so quickly, because she seemed to, just like I say, have good bones. And I really hated a lot of things that happened in that, because I was like, damn, it's the antithesis of what you're doing. My angels have been working on me, because when I have things happen, I share it with you, and I shared that with you. But the example of this that I'm bringing to you today is this. You will be guided at times to cut things off, to end relationships, to not give a lot of explanation, especially if you've already explained several times to the person what's going on and they want to purposely be obtuse or whatever the case may be. And one of the things that my clients war with, one of the things I have warred with in my past, I don't war with it now, which means that when I really get the message, got a blast, I go, because my angel said, have we ever lied to you? So if they tell me don't touch them, we'll tell you later. They tell me later exactly why they said that. They'll show me why I might have been quote unquote deprived of whatever I thought I wanted. If they say don't be in this connection, we'll tell you later, they'll tell me later why that was the thing that happened. If they say we need you to make a quick snap decision and move into a different direction, they will tell me later why that was the reason that they moved me out, because I was in danger. Very often, guys, we are in situations where we're getting out of something just in the nick of time. That's why your intuition is animalistic. It's primal. It is not about a lot of logic. That is not the place you want logic to be. And so when I am in situations where there is danger that's like impending and coming down on me, I get out and I listen to my angels. But there's a flip side of that. What if you're missing out on something and you're like, well, what about this? And when will this ever happen again? And who will ever be kind to me and sweet? And blah, 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 blah. We all get in our feelings especially when it's about connections. That's when I notice we all turn into children. We're all petulant and we're like, but it's not fair, right? When am I ever going to get that again? Or you might have been in a relationship with someone who was narcissistic, who was telling you no one's ever going to love you the way I love you, or whatever the case may be. That's a lie. The devil's a liar. Now, let me see. Let me tell you what this is. So you saw the thumbnail, and what it is my husband came in and there was some kind of like, fundraiser bake sale at the country club that he's at, and he was like, oh yeah, I just picked these up. I bought you some gluten-free ones as well. But when I looked in the bag, there was like 3 gluten-free of those like mini ones. He's like, put some in the freezer, whatever, but I got you 3 gluten-free ones, and this one too. And I was like, well, this one's not gluten-free, so this one will be for you. And he was like, oh, I didn't realize. I just, it looks good. Now, my husband knows my flavor profiles and things I like, but not specifically does he know that I really, really love lemon blueberry. And even though my husband is fully capable to watch my videos, he doesn't watch every single one, because #husbands, right? Nor does he understand, did I go into deep depth and explanation about that cake and how special that was to me, and how I was questioning my angels and asking, are you guys sure that it's time for me to sever this connection, because this girl's doing these really sweet things, this soulmate, cosmic girlfriend person, soulmate person that I was dating, all of that stuff, was doing really sweet things. And I was so sweet that my mind was playing tricks on me and being like, damn, this is really nice. And it's not that people haven't treated me well. It's not that when I'm dating, the dating isn't going well. I'm treated well. I treat people well. It's not that that's so foreign to me that I'm thirsty for it. Like, oh my God, it'll never happen again. But there were some specific nuanced things that happened. And this is an inside joke between me and you guys, actually, in the collective, that are day one A1s and have watched that video and know exactly what I'm talking about. They will take care and replace everything. That is so specific, because my husband literally doesn't really know the details of all of that, nor would he care, because #, again, husbands. That's how I knew my angels tapped him on the shoulder. And even though there were 3 gluten-free ones that he brought home for me, which was so sweet and thoughtful, what he brought home was the lemon blueberry. That lemon blueberry, guys, excuse me. I laughed and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, angels, y'all love me. Y'all love me. Since I disembarked from that connection, which was a difficult decision for me to make because of well, girl, it wasn't that difficult because the person was fake, but it was difficult when I was holding them up on a pedestal and seeing all the beautiful things that they did do and all the potential they had to be really great. But my angels were like, she's never going to be great to you. The beautiful energy that she could give to a companion or a partner, she's purposely withholding from you. There's a way that people will melt into you when you're in a relationship, when you really are connected. And I was waiting for the melt and it never happened. That doesn't mean that we didn't share some levels of intimacy or didn't cuddle or didn't connect or didn't really care for one another. But what it means, well, I cared for her, but what it means is that she wasn't going to be really truly vulnerable, and that's where I can do the work, meaning there's real work to be done. Coming up here shortly, I've been teasing, but it's almost done, as a series about tantric relating. In any relationship that I have, that's always the goal for me. And you need honesty and integrity to do that and to have that. And if you are dealing with someone who starts to treat you differently in the connection, you will never get to that place of heightened intimacy. You have to be honest. For tantric energy to happen, it's not just about sex, it's about intimacy. And this person was not honest with herself, and so therefore she could not be honest with me. And her people pleasing and various things, and I am never one that's going to judge someone on people pleasing, because trust me, been there, done that. But it was ironic because it seemed that she was unaware that she had these traits and that she was doing these things, and it was really interesting. And right in the beginning, I remember saying to her, she was not honest with me in a moment. I called her on it, and it was very light. This was one of the very light things. It wasn't a huge thing. And I was like, why didn't you just tell me yes or no about this one thing? This wasn't anything that was a game changer. We were, God, at some Airbnb somewhere at the one of the many that we were usually at. And I said to her, I'm in your life for, I said, what would you normally do in this situation? And she was like, well, as a Libra, I specifically just kind of go along to get along. And I just kind of, I'm diplomatic because I don't want someone to feel like she was people pleasing, essentially. I don't know if she understood what she was saying that she was doing, but she gave me her strategy for how she usually deals with things. And I said, well, I'm in your life for it to be different because it is a safe space with me. You can be honest with me. You can tell me the truth, and I'm not going to reject you or resent you. In fact, I actually prefer your truth because I can deal with that. And I'm here maybe to help you sharpen the stone of telling truths even when it's uncomfortable. She did not take anything that I said seriously or internalize it, and continued on the path that was comfortable for her. Change takes time, guys. I'm not here to judge all of that, but I'm going to tell you this. When you're in connection with people, sometimes you may think that when you pull back, especially if you like them, especially if they had good bones, especially if they had potential, as far as you know. But y'all, please don't stay with anybody for anybody's potential. When my angels tell me that it's time to go, it's time to go. And so what my angels have done specifically is done this beautiful reward system with me in the last month or two since I disembarked from that connection, where they're playing this little, almost like a flirting game. I know it's weird to think your angels flirting with you, but they're like saying, we love you, Monat. We're going to give you everything that you thought you would not get, or everything that you really enjoyed getting from that connection, but we're actually going to make it concrete. We're going to make it real. We're going to make that people say what they mean and feel what they feel. We are going to provide you with the opportunity to have the melt happen, that melting moment where you're actually connected with someone who owns it and is in it with you and coming with straight ass words and communication and all of that. Guys, it's so funny to me. We can get so caught up in like, oh no, what am I going to do? And it's so terrible. And who's going to love me like you? Well, I pride myself in loving people in a certain kind of way. And they're my friend, my bestie, my husband, my mama, that when I am in your life and I show up, you have felt juicily loved. I pride myself on loving and connecting with my clients emotionally, really understanding who they are. And I am grateful because they are loyal to me for that reason. I try to be excellent in love. That is my ethos and my dispatched assignment here on earth as a Leo, which rules romance and dating and love and children and creativity and a picnic in the park with your friends that's strictly platonic. I'm good at that. And so I really put a lot of time and energy and effort into it. It's nice to have it reciprocated. But if you're in a situation where God is saying to you, cut someone off, but they're giving you some things that are really lovely, but then they're disrespectful AF, and or they're undermining, gaslighting, conniving, that's a word, that is not something that you can stand. And you will have to understand God's plan and extricate yourself out of it. Because if you stay there, you will be setting yourself up for further grifting. You will be the grift. They will grift upon you. They will sup upon you because they'll think you're dumb and that you don't really have spiritual work to do and that you can't see the forest for the trees and that they're trying to bring you to their knees. To their knees, not even to your knees. They want you begging at their knees. Some people will have a real inflated sense of themselves. And listen, again, I'm a Leo. I love me and I want y'all to love you. And after we go through any kind of narcissistic abuse or all of the rest of that, it's a really hard thing to get our self-esteem back, you know? And someone can really play with your mind if you allow them to, time after time. And that's why they say, the angels specifically are saying, get out of your connections faster if you feel like disrespect is shifted. I was listening to Yanni Red as I was doing research to put up the video I just did about Princella. And Yanni Red had quietly befriended Princella's ex-girlfriend over the last year behind the scenes and nobody knew. She dropped the bombshell. She's addressing it to her fans, followers, and people that watch her channel. Yanni Red is a talking head here on YouTube who talks about women's empowerment to a certain degree. And she talks about in that video why she divested from Princella, actually, far before she even knew that her friend was dating her behind the scenes. So what she says is something that I was like, it's worthy of a whole video, but I'll sneak in here a little sweet treat for you, like the picture is. She said, Black women, this is because she works with Black women specifically. I mean, everyone's welcome, but I think her content is geared for African American women, Black women of all stripes from the diasporas of everywhere. Anyway, she said, Black women have to learn how to divest when people are abusing them. And I thought that is such a powerful message, because it's whether you're Black, white, whatever you are, if someone comes in and they are treating you well, the blueberry cake was a thing, it happened. Various other things happened in that connection that were there was one thing that was probably my favorite thing that ever happened ever, because the way it played out was a movie and it was magical. And I'll share that with you momentarily, but let me make my point. She said Black women have to learn how to divest when people are abusing them. She said Princella started off as one thing. This is Yanni Red's assessment, and Yanni Red is a huge creator, a lot more subscribers than me, in the hundreds of thousands, I do believe. She said Princella started out one way and she was all on board because we were all on this women empowerment movement and blah blah blah, right? We're all there. It was all part of the zeitgeist. But then what happened was the tide turned. And the tide turned, and she noticed that Princella started to be abusive, and she started to be derogatory, and she started to talk down to her subscribers and the lives and all the rest of it. And she started to really be abusive like men specifically. And she says, whether it's a man in your life or a woman, you need to learn how to see when someone has lulled you into a false sense of security only to turn the tables on you and then start to treat you badly, but they've disarmed you. And I thought she did a brilliant assessment of it. I connected her video where she's speaking about it in the Princella video. It's about the 18-minute mark or so that she starts to have that conversation, I do believe. But fact check me, Belinda. I know you will, okay? Fact check me, please. Happy to be fact checked. Please welcome constructive criticism, guys. It's what keeps us healthy. You can tell when someone's being a hater. And in this situation with Blueberry Cake person, there was some hateration in her energy from me. It wasn't just all constructive criticism, actually. And that's when I said flag on the play. You're not about to fuck with my head in that kind of way. And you need to stand up for yourself and know that about you. Because people, it's weird, have an inflated sense of self. While they have low self-esteem, they're trying to tear you down. But really, they've got a whole bunch of shit to work on in their own realm. And wow, I have a lot of thoughts. I won't even say them all here because that's what this is not about today. But what I will say is this: if you have someone that starts off one way and you're dating them, I don't care if it's a man that you're dating, I don't care if you're dating a them, they, other, I don't care who you're dating. If you're dating an entity, a person, and they start treating you really well, and we know that to be kind of love bombing, but let's say it's not just love bombing. Let's say it's just a person and they're treating you well, and let's say they're not a narcissist, and let's say they're not any of the things in the DSM. Let's say they just shift their behavior at some point in your relationship. You address it with them. You talk to them. You're not supposed to just cut them off immediately because that happened. Address it. This makes me uncomfortable. I don't like this. This is bothersome to me, etc., etc. And if they don't pivot, and if they double down, and if they gaslight, take note of that. And my advice now is get out of it right away after you realize that they're committed to the fuckery behavior that they're giving you. But we all have bad habits, guys. We all have bad habits. We all have toxic abuse that's left over from past relationships. The energy and the remnants of that can be on us sometimes, and we might spin some of that to somebody else. We're all human. Relationships are messy. Nothing is easy. But the point that Yanni Red made that I thought was brilliant is, if someone starts to treat you differently, stop being so under their spell. And Princella definitely can cast a spell, obviously, and realize that they're not treating you well. And you wouldn't accept this from a man, so don't accept it from her either. One of the points I made in my video, being a bisexual woman, is that upon dating, because I have dated women that sometimes have never had an experience with women and stuff like that, but and I've dated women that were gay as well and just absolutely knew who they were, bisexual, whatever they were. But what I'm going to tell you is this: that's one of the things that I do to make it easy, especially if a woman is straight and I'm the first person that she's dated. Then I make it really clear for her, like, hey, well, how would you behave with a guy? This has happened to me more than one time. It's not like it's just, I've had to on several occasions be like, well, what do you feel and how does this feel and whatever? Because if something's new to you, you're not going to just know how to slip into it. And I think love is fluid and love is love, and it's very easy for me, but that's easy for me to say because on the Kinsey scale, I'm pretty gay. Okay, so I really like women, so that's easy for me. But don't assume that that's easy for somebody else. And the reason that I say that is because whether it's a man or a woman, how would you allow yourself to be treated? Whatever relationship you find yourself in, whatever relationship dynamic you find yourself in, if you're a straight heterosexual woman and a man starts to treat you differently when you're dating, do what I just said. Address it, talk to him, figure out where it's coming from. Does he have some deep-seated trauma? Did you trigger him like an ex did? All these are valid and real things that happen in our relationships. But don't stick around to be repeatedly pummeled emotionally and treated badly, and to have someone treat you in any diminished capacity and tell you what they're willing to not do or will do, and then start to actually act out and start to gaslight and ghost and do weird shit. Oh, no, that's okay. You clearly have some bad habits from your dating days, and I don't want to have to work on healing myself for 2 years because you're crazy. So, and you want to play with me, right? And so, yeah, all that started from a piece of cake. But what I'm going to tell you is this: for goodness sake, divest from that. Don't let them lull you into that false sense of security, like Yanni Red said, and disarm you. So now you're like, oh, because that's where they really get into your head. Because now this beautiful treatment that they did to you, you're like, now they're abusing me. And yes, both things are true. Let me finish up with this. One of the favorite things that happened in the connection with that cosmic girlfriend of mine, yes, those are real words we said to each other. So, someone wrote me a letter and they were like, you were very vague in your swallowed video, and maybe she didn't understand it was clear. I love y'all for writing me too, PS. So no, this is not an attack. I actually liked that comment, and I thought, oh, maybe I do need to clear that up. No. Between me and that person, everything was absolutely spelled out and clear right from the beginning. The way that I operate is very much in a straightforward manner, okay? Which I was alluding to in my Princella video. I clearly said that. Especially being part of the LGBTQIA, we had to move in the shadows for so many years of our life until things were official and legal and sanctioned. So figuring out how to shoot your shot at someone, if you have to figure out, are they attracted or are they not? It's a whole dance. It's a whole dance that any gay man or gay woman will tell you, or bisexual man or whatever, bisexual woman will tell you that is happening with dating. It's a whole, you think you're regular dating, and then you add on all the years of suppression and all this other weird shit that we had to go through. So figuring out how to shoot your shot with somebody is a thing. But now that we are sanctioned open and life is different, I highly suggest full transparency. Shoot your shot absolutely directly, so that there is no room for misinformation. So whoever wrote me that letter, I hear you, but no, we were really understanding exactly what we were, and there was a mutual understanding. There's still future faking, there's still bullshit, there's still subterfuge, and there's still weird behavior that I didn't like, and I was not signing up to be abused or to be triangulated and all the rest of it that seemed to be some of her favorite things. But what I will tell you is that those things I could identify as being out of order because I was clear. That's what I say to you guys here. Be clear. I was so clear that what she was mirroring back to me, or trying to mirror back to me, I don't know what mirror we were in. We were in the funhouse mirror. We were in the mirror in Us by Jordan Peele at the end with the tethered. Fuck, she was my real doppelganger. Really, truly, y'all. And that was scary for me. But what I'm going to tell you is this. It was easy for me at the end of it to see and to break that mirror and be like, oh, homie, it's not going to be me, because I was so clear and words were really said mutually back and forth. There was no ambiguity. That was for the sake of the video and, whatever. I still have to maintain a bit of my privacy. But I'm sharing an experience that I think hopefully will teach you too. No, I was very clear. And the way that I move directly. So directly, I will say this little fun fact. I had someone shoot a shot at me. And even though I wasn't going to take the shot, the way that they approached me made me so happy about how I show up in life. They said to me specifically, and this is recently, they said to me specifically, I came to you purposely sober. I didn't want you to think that if we were going to hang out and have a couple drinks or whatever, that I was doing this then, because this is how my alcohol or the alcohol was making me feel. I wanted you to know like how I feel sober, so that you can know that I'm serious about what I'm saying. And guys, the way that did my heart good, it wasn't about like, oh, ego stroke that did my heart good. It meant that I am walking it how I talk, that even someone who could be attracted to me was not coming to me unless they were coming to me with integrity, because I don't move in the shadows at all. I don't have to anymore. And so I am direct. And I thought that I have done a good job in representing myself, that someone's not even going to shoot a shot at me. Like she wasn't even going to shoot a shot at me until she was like, listen, I have so much respect for you. This is how I'm coming and this is how I feel. And I was like I respected that, but I respected myself. And the reason I got that respect is because I give it. So I can never be in Princella's situation having somebody talking shit in the background. I mean, people will talk shit. You can't stop that. But no one's ever going to say that Monette did not handle something integrally. So that's what I will recommend to you. Dating integrally is a big theme recently, especially with that Princella thing. But back to this, I want to share the favorite thing and why I still walked away from a favorite thing. We had a really beautiful day and date. Really, we went to see Lion King on Broadway, like a bucket list thing for me, something I really enjoyed. At the end of it, and I'm going to tell you the full story because I want you to hear how lovely it was, because both things can be true. Just like Yanni Red said, someone could come in and be really wonderful, and then they start mistreating you, and you're like, wait, Houseway, how did we get here? So you need to hear the thing that is good, and then also see the end of it, and then also see how the angels will replace whatever you lost. They promise you. But what I'm gonna say is this. What was I gonna say? Okay, Lion King, beautiful. She at the end of it, she was like, I need to get some cash out the ATM. Well, I had cash on me. And I was like, well, don't worry. I'll take care of it. I'll give you the cash. Don't worry about it. And we were walking out of the thing. And she's like, I just got to walk to an ATM somewhere. And there was these jitneys in front of Broadway, obviously trying to like drum up business for themselves. And so there was one with a bubble machine. She really liked bubbles. And my angels were like, this is perfect. Do this. This is going to be a moment. It's going to be a movie. It was a movie. So we get spun around Times Square. It's amazing. They're playing New York and Jay-Z and Frank Sinatra. I couldn't have written it better, y'all. I couldn't have written it better. We had such a good time, but she was skeptical because she is from that area, and so she was, she's not a tourist, and that's just a touristy thing that you wouldn't do when you're a real New Yorker, right? And so, but I thought, this is going to be so beautiful, whatever, and she was so anxious about, like, needing to get the money out, and I was like, well, God, in my mind, we had had moments like this before where she didn't speak and communicate, and I have to be like figuring out what's wrong with her, which really annoyed me. But in that moment, I was like, okay, well, she's being really thoughtful, so I don't know what's happening. I don't know why she just won't take the cash and just pay me back later. It's all good. But she was really insistent. It was like a very like, mommy, now I'm a big girl now, so she insisted on it. We did it. The jitney drops us off. We get an Uber back to our car, and when we get out of the car, I thought we were getting out to get back to the car where we parked. We parked outside of the city, because parking in the city is madness. And so we parked outside of the city. And the place where the Uber dropped us off looked like the vehicle that we had rented. And so, okay, what do I know, right? And every street in New York to me looks the same. And so I was telling the Uber driver even like, no, you need to go up like a space for like a little bit further because our car is like almost a half a block up, like, because I thought I saw the car. And she was like, oh, no, it's okay, he can drop us off here. And I was like, oh, okay. And then when I get out, I was on the side of the car where I get out, I look up and there is a restaurant and it says sans gluten on it, right? And that restaurant, which I'm gluten-free, guys, and so I was like, oh my goodness, we have to, and we were foodies, and so I was like, oh my goodness, we have to try this restaurant, this gluten-free restaurant, like we got to put it on our like bucket list of things to try. And she was like, well, how about right now? And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I made reservations for us to eat here tonight. We're a little early, but maybe they'll seat us if we go inside. It was a movie. The whole day was a movie. And we go inside and we eat, and this is beautiful Italian restaurant, and the most, in like, everything's gluten-free. Everything's gluten-free. So pasta and all these things that I can't normally have easily that are like done well. Like if you're a chef, you understand what I mean by done well. You can buy some gluten-free pasta now, and gluten-free stuff has evolved certainly from where it started, but done well. This was done well. And when I would take her out to eat, there wasn't anything that was off limits. If we wanted to order 6 things on the menu, we would. And that's exactly the way that she treated me. It was lovely. I'm never going to lie on somebody. That's why when I tell you the truth about the other bullshit, know that that's true too. But it was lovely. She was like, whatever, we need to get this, and this. And when I was looking at the menu, I thought you would like this, and this. She was so sweet. The waitress was enamored with us. Frank Sinatra was playing. One of my songs when I am in a really great soulmate connection that plays is The Best Is Yet to Come. Out of the tree of life, I just picked me a plum. And I remember her talking about, she's a chef that's traveled the world, and I remember her talking about working in Italy and learning how to make pasta with like somebody's known, or working in some shop and whatever, and talking about it. And I was hearing her, but Frank was playing and my angels were like, what a lovely connection we have sat here in front of you. And she's telling me the story about working in Italy, which I thought was very attractive because I just like people that are very interesting, and she was incredibly interesting to me and well traveled, far more traveled than me. You know, I like when I grew up, I wanted to be her energetically. I was so proud of her and so impressed with her. And that was true. And she's telling me the story while we're in this Italian place in the little cutest, like we're in the back of the restaurant in this like tucked away place. There was a little wall in front of us and this little archway cut out, which reminded me of my dad. He did cutouts like that for the houses that he built. I was having all of these amazing, zingy, juicy moments in that moment. I looked fantastic. She looked fantastic. The food was fantastic. The waiter was fantastic. The wine was fantastic, and nothing was off limits. She treated me very well. She treated me how I treat people. And when it came time to pay, I saw the little detail on the menu that says we only accept cash, which means that she had planned the whole day, including the getting of the cash. And it just broke my heart open because it was so thoughtful. And that's why she wouldn't let me give her the cash, because she was insisting that she was going to pay for dinner. And she did. She paid for our full dinner, the many, many courses that we had, and we got everything. And then it wasn't done there. When I said it was a movie, it was a movie. She said this was, and I still was in a lot of pain. This is like the middle of last year, July of last year. And she said, are we still recording? Okay, I think we're still recording. I had a pop-up that the phone was getting hot. That's so funny. The phone was getting hot. Even my phone was like, girl. Warning, warning. Yeah, that was really lovely and really sweet. But she was like, hey, how are you feeling physically? Are you up for a little bit of a walk? Well, the blocks in New York are really blocks. Like, yeah, a block in New York is a little bit of a hike. But I was up for it. I had my cane at the time. And we walked around the corner by a little flower store. And when I had come to New York, she had met me when, you know, I got into my Airbnb. She had a little bit of sweets for me, cinnamon rolls, because I never get cinnamon rolls. It's a gluten-free thing that you just can't find in a store. And so she had got these little cinnamon rolls from this bakery. And this bakery happened to be, it's called Posh Bakery, happened to be right around the corner from a block, about a half a block or so away, around the corner from the restaurant that we ate at. She had planned all that out. You see what I mean by thoughtful? You see what I mean by lie. Both things can be true. And so we walk up there, and I'm in this amazing huge tutu, like I really dressed up for Broadway. And so it was a movie. I looked amazing, she looked amazing, we were happy. It was a really happy moment in our connection. We really, really were into each other energetically in every way. And we go in there, and she was like, I came in here and I didn't even know what to pick for you, and I knew we'd want so many things, and I bought way too many things. And I ended up freezing some and taking some home. But we went in there and she recorded some. She was like my content creator, like symbiotic person. Like I never met someone that I liked so much. Like she was so simpatico with me in so many ways. And that was such a beautiful date that she planned. It was such a fucking beautiful date. It was my favorite date I've ever been on in my life. And yet still I walked away from her because I didn't want the strife that she came with. The fact that she couldn't be honest, the fact that she was playing reindeer games, the fact that she was playing in my face and gaslighting me was unfucking acceptable. But I'm never going to lie to you, the collective, and say that the sweet things that she did were so sweet and so thoughtful. And out of all the dates, and I've been on a lot, and I've taken people on really great dates too, that was my favorite. For the whole way that it played out, her little nervous energy when she was like, no, I don't want to get the money. I mean, I'm not going to take the money from you. I got to go to the ATM. Like, all of it was so sweet. It was so cute. It was so sexy. It was so all the things I could ever want. It was an ideal moment. Me being like, let's try this. And her being like, it's already booked. Say less, sis. That is hot. Okay? So that's me being transparent with you. Like, that's stuff that we dream about having someone that we care about do for us. I'm never not going to give her tens and her flowers. Too bad that she was an asshole in other ways that were unacceptable to me. But she knocked that out of the park for me, actually. And had I had not worked on my self-esteem, and had it have been a different day in my reality, meaning yesteryear, 20 years ago, I would have probably stayed with her because I didn't love me. You know, she had gaslit me at one point in our connection, and she said, I want you. I specifically asked her what she was doing when she was triangulating me with a guy, and I said, and not just sharing with me, because we had established rules of clearly you're going to obviously date. You know, I have my own situation, you're doing your thing. And so that was fine. When she would come to me and be honest, would be like, oh, I'm seeing somebody. That was one thing. But the triangulation when we were in Iceland was a very different thing. And I checked with her because my angel said to check with her. And they said, listen, check in with her, see where she's at. And the reason I'm saying this is because in that moment, I realized like, she had the capacity to really be cruel in some ways. And she said something to me where she gaslit me, and I had chosen me, and I told her what I wanted, and I was very clear. Y'all, I'm clear. The whole theme of this chat today is clarity and communication. She was not. She was very tricky and slippery. And she says to me, it felt like a guy, it felt like when a guy does this to you or any narcissist, and she was like, I did that. She excused the behavior by saying something to the effect of, I did that because I wanted you to choose you. I wanted you to choose you. And she's like looking up from her eyelashes. I wanted you to choose you. Bitch, what? Bitch, I haven't chosen me. You haven't been choosing me. You've been triangulating me because you need all the attention in the world. So it was such a moment where I was like, oh, she's really fuck what I think she is, and I didn't want her to be, because all these other beautiful things had happened, all these other sweet moments had happened. You understand? All of the loveliness, all of the hand holding, all of the love, like just all of the sexiness, a lot of things had happened. Y'all, I didn't want to give it out. I didn't. But I was not going to stay to be abused. And then to have to come to you and lie. That's one thing I won't do to my collective, is lie. So how am I going to sit in front of you and tell you to have healthy relationships when I'm not mirroring that? And when I'm allowing someone to lull me in, disarm me, and then start to be abusive energetically in weird ways. And then act like I'm crazy and then tell me I want you to choose you. Bitch, what? Bitch, I have been chosen me. It's always going to be me. And people, maybe if you are different, might think differently. Or if you're an empath, they may think that you're a doormat and they can get over. So that's why you have to be able to relinquish the movie moments. That was a fucking movie, y'all. Tell me it could be any better. That was a movie. A lot of us are in whole ass full regular relationships with people that have never been that thoughtful. It was very thoughtful. It was very sweet, ending with sweet treats for me. I never get that. Like, it was the perfect meal. The perfect meal for me that day. The perfect moment. The perfect date. Everything was chef's fucking kiss. And yet and still I walked away thinking, who's ever going to replicate that? Can I be fully transparent? It was so well done that I thought, that's it. It's a one and done. That's it. This is it. It was very Michael Jackson. This is it. I'm never going to get that again, sis. And my angel said, okay, maybe. But what if we bring you something better? How, Sway? How could it be better? She was such a go-getter in so many ways, and so thoughtful and so proactive, and it was really lovely dating her at times. However, she was also making me feel uncomfortable, and she was also being unkind. Both things were true. That's the truth. And that has happened to you to some degree with anybody that you may have pedestalized. Maybe the sex was slam-a-jam and you didn't want to leave, but they were treating you crappy. They never took you out on an actual date, or whatever the case may be. We all have different ways that has shown up in our lives. But the truth here is you need to set yourself free, and then go back to the thumbnail, and now we will bring it full circle. You will get the lemon and the blueberry, whatever your lemon and blueberry is. When she bought me that little cake that said 1000K, I told you in the other video, I cried, sis. And I prayed to my angels in that very moment, are you sure that I have to get rid of her? And they said, yes, this is not for you to keep. You have to get rid of her, because you will lose sleep over someone who wants to live in their dishonesty and have treachery and weird shit. Even if she's doing nothing and she only wants to gaslight you to think that she's doing something because she needs attention, this is unhealthy. You have a collective to speak to. You have clients that need you. You have an actual partner that you deal with. You have a best. You have other friends. You can't have someone be your sole focus, because she doesn't want to build with you or cooperate, and she doesn't know what the fuck she wants actually. So get away from her. That part, okay? And what she will do is have you feeling crazy for no reason. You don't deserve that. We sent you into her life to help heal her, to help raise her vibration, to help increase her financial status and standing. You guys are dispatched in with a lot of gifts for the people that come into your life. Do not be swayed by a trinket or two and a beautiful date night, because girl, I'm human too. And I was like, angels, I really like this one. Y'all sure? And they were like, we real sure. And I was like, okay, all right. And but so today, when my husband brings me the blueberry lemon cake by accident, again, he thought he was picking up 4 gluten-frees, because he doesn't even like these kind of cakes. He's more of a chocolate chip kind of guy. But when he brought me that, I thought, oh, wow. And yesterday I had a lot of beautiful symbology too, and symbols and things where the angels were like, game over. We absolutely, you guys have heard me call her cosmic girlfriend. I was sitting, I went to the beach and did all the things. You guys saw the video. And afterwards I went to my favorite seafood place in my mom's town in Melbourne. And I was sitting there facing the highway as I was like eating my lunch, and there were several trucks that passed by. One that had a spider on it, and we know that has to do with narcissism. It was a green spider, heart chakra, and whatever. Another truck that said hugs on it for cuddles or something, and other things that were just very symbolic to the connection I was in. And then there was one that came up, and I might try to see if I do a side-by-side with the blueberry cake and this, because I think it's pretty good. If not, maybe I'll put it on the community page. But it was a van, and it said Cosmic Games, which is exactly what she was playing with me. And there was a big sign on it that said game over. I took a picture of it because my angels speak to me in real signage. The cosmic games are over. She was my cosmic girlfriend, and the cosmic games are over. I enjoyed the fuck out of her. The problem was she was about to drain the fuck out of me. Yeah. And so I had to set her free, even the lemon and blueberry. And the angel said, it's so good. It's so biblical. When Job was betrayed and everything went away and was stripped from his life, God said, for being obedient, we will restore the years that the locusts have eaten. And this has not even been a good 2 full real months, that there have been so many blessings and shot and all kinds of things. I'm like, where did this come from? And it's all because I didn't do it. I didn't leave because I had a string of things lined up for me. In fact, that was very much my faith leap of like, get out of this and then get back to your life and whatever. I didn't do it because I had, I don't monkey branch ever. Like, when I'm done with a connection, I'm done with it. I don't have one waiting in the wings. That's never my way. A lot of us heal that way. I've done it before, but that's not something I do now integrally. I really work on disconnecting so I don't bleed onto someone who never cut me. That's a whole word from your angels right there. So I didn't monkey branch, and I wasn't doing any of that. I'm not trifling. That's not my thing. And no offense if you've done it. So you're not trifling either. You're coping. It's a coping mechanism, but it's not the healthiest. Okay, that part. So when I left out of this, I was like, all right, I done invested all this time and energy. This person had a lot of like check marks for me that I could have been like, this could work. And I felt so connected to her in so many ways. But my angel said, yeah, but do you know your worth? Because there's so much more we can give you. We can give you something so much better. We can give you actually what you need, deserve, what you are working on. And I'm like, yeah, but this was nice. Sometimes you be with somebody who's like, but it's okay. This is nice. It's okay. I take it. And my angel said, no, you won't. No, we have so much better in store for you. And they have done nothing but proven that in every single way to me, including to the details of the lemon blueberry cake today. I feel so loved. When I say I've been in a gratitude like space lately, where I'm just thanking them for all of the blessings they have been bringing me, I feel so loved, because I know that even though that was a movie and that was a day and it was a date and it was amazing and ooh, all the things, they said, we will have that happen for you again in different ways, but better, in ways that actually feed your soul. Whatever energy she was withholding, someone will literally melt into you and they will never withhold. That's why you leave those toxic situations, guys, because there's always better. And sometimes people will look at you and pigeonhole you because of the empath patina on you and think, I'm the best they can do. And I think mistakenly she thought that too. My angels will always do better than whoever is around me. Okay, it doesn't matter who is around me. If someone starts to betray me and they try me, they will send in a replacement. Now that's not necessarily what I'm talking about in this video per se, but you need to understand that's exactly the way it will go for you too. So the replacement today isn't about a person, it's about lemon and blueberry cake. And even though it's not gluten-free and I'm not going to eat it, my God, when I saw it, that's all I had to do was just see it, to know that the angels are like, we got you, sis. We told you to leave something alone, and thank you for listening. All I've gotten since that happened is a bunch of beautiful thank yous in the best way. Even if it's, again, things I didn't want to partake in. The way that people have approached me and dealt with me, I've been like, damn, I didn't know. I had no idea. And I am so grateful. But that's because I trust me. Now, here's another message. I am nobody's conventional anything. So for those of you out there talking about who's going to want to date me and blah, 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 listen, y'all know what I look like. If you don't, go watch one of my videos on screen. I am a plus size. I'm a BBW in real life, okay? What did Drake say? I like my girls BBW, the kind to suck you dry and then share some lunch with you. That part. That's the kind of BBW I am. TMI, but you all know we talking about sex over here. It's coming up. Kind of suck you dry and then share some lunch with you. Drake never lied. Well, he does lie, actually, but that's a good line of his. I hope he wrote it. Anyway, we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that for the record. I like that record. We'll get back to that for the record. But that's the kind of BBW I am. And for my skinny legends out there that are clients, that are friends, that are like, oh, if I leave this person, what will I do? I have gorgeous friends. I have lovely people in my life. They're like literally conventionally gorgeous models, pageant winners, all that stuff. Y'all are going to be fine. It's about your swag, your energy, and your confidence. You can pull time after time. And I'm not saying this to be diminishing at all, because I'm not a person that has depreciating humor. I don't really like get into that, because I kind of like me. Would I like a healthier me? Yes, but I like me. But I'm telling you, you could pull at any aspect. You could be, I'm watching somebody's shorts on the shorts. He's in a wheelchair and he's putting out straight shots set to every woman. He's like, hey, you ever dated a guy that was handicapped? Because come on over to this side and let me roll it back for you. Like, it's so funny. You could pull, it doesn't matter what your size is, your disability, your issue. And a lot of you have none of those things going on. You're just fine as fuck. And you're worried because someone did you wrong and got in your head and played with you that you can't pull somebody else. Ma'am. Take yourself off the shelf. My good sisters and my good sirs, everybody wants you. The thing you want is wanting you. You can have anybody you want to. Now, that doesn't mean that our heart doesn't linger, because I'm a big old sap. I'm a big old Leo. When I love someone and care about them, I don't just immediately, like I said, monkey swing or jump. It takes me time. I really have to, like, because even with shot, if I still like someone, my heart is still in the other place. We're human, that part. But please, do not be in my face telling me that you can't pull and you think you're going to be by yourself forever. I see some of y'all. I see all your pictures. If I work with you, I see your little screenshots as we do our little, financial transactions, because all of our little things have pictures and avatars now. Y'all is fine. All you are gorgeous out there with your own swag, your own star power, and you pull. So don't pull the wool over your own eyes. And if you are going to do that, let me pull it up for you. Whether you in the wheelchair, you standing tall, you are able-bodied or not, you a BBW or not, no matter what color or ethnicity, you can pull. You can have whatever you like, and you can have someone treat you right, and you can go on the date of your life. I'm 40. I was, 41, 42, 41. I'm 42 now. How old am I? Oh my God, I'm 43. I'm sorry, existential crisis. It just happened to me. Bling, bling, bling. Like, wait. Oh yeah, I'll be 44 this year. Damn. Damn, that life comes at you fast. That's what I'm saying. Get away from these people that are treating you bad. You don't have time to play. But anyway, I was 42 though. Yes, I was 42 when we went on a date because my birthday happened right after that. Okay, fair. I was like, wait a minute, how did I miss a whole year? No, we were together for about a year or so. Or dealing with each other for about a year or so. But what I'm going to tell you is this: I was 42 and I had the best date of my life. It's too bad I'll never know that person again in life, or talk to her, see her, or ever know that she exists again. But that happened. That really happened, and that can happen for you too. You do not have to. Like, life doesn't end because these relationships end. So for those of you that are divorcees, and for those of you that are like, but I lost my person, and that was my person, and I'll never have that again, only if you decide that. You get to choose, okay? So did I give up on life or dating or having a wonderful time just because it doesn't mean I hadn't been on wonderful dates. It doesn't mean that people haven't treated me well. It doesn't mean that people hadn't booked massages and done flower petals and all kinds of things. I have had all of the things, okay? And my size did not dictate that I didn't deserve those things. Get out of your heads about what you look like and the body dysmorphia. We all have it, but people will love you. It doesn't mean people won't treat you bad too, but it means people will love you. And God and your angels will send in people that do love you. But yeah, I didn't give up on life or dating because that didn't happen for me until I was that age. My ideal perfect, everything was perfect. If I could have planned it, if I wrote it in a book, if I would have written it, that happened. And that didn't happen because I told someone to do it for me. It happened because someone cared about me enough to observe me and plan it for me. It's too bad it went left, but I'm not going to not give her flowers for what she got right, because she got that right. That was like something out of a dream for me. It was so lovely. Never been done, never will be replicated. Again, still have dated, but that was it. Now, here's what I will say to you. Don't give up on your life. I don't care if you are whatever age I am, 41, 43, 42. I just went through my existential crisis. I don't care whatever age you are. I don't care how hard you've had it. Be looking out for your angels to gift you little trinkets and treats and to flirt with you in their own little way and say, we love you, we see you, and we're going to bring in someone else who wants to play. But who's going to play not in your face, but play with you in a frolicking fifth house. You love each other. Inner child's connecting in the best way. Yeah? That's what you're looking for. Not a tethered, not a doppelganger, not someone that's trying to try you, that really despises you and hates you and is jealous of you high key, low key, and is being weird and is gossiping about you but won't talk to you. Girl, don't put yourself through that. And that doesn't mean that if someone has those redeeming qualities that they are worth you. When I say the juice is not worth the squeeze, in that last connection, the juice was not worth the squeeze. It was a bad investment on my part. I'm never going to come to you and say any differently. When I'm wrong, and I was wrong. And the second I knew it was wrong, I left, because I didn't care about lemon blueberry cake. Like, I thought, I did think, no one's ever going to do that again. That was so sweet. I didn't think a month or two later I would be getting a lemon blueberry cake. Didn't have a candle, and it doesn't say 1000K, but it doesn't have to, because it came from the angels. And my husband did his thing, and I'm appreciating him on this day. That was really sweet and thoughtful. So I say that to you. Whatever you want, you can have. Someone said something to me when I was disembarking from that relationship. She is a shaman and a friend of the channel, and I love her, and I will not disclose her identity. She's very private, but she said to me, Monette, this was after I'd already made my decisions and after I was already out of it, but I was warring internally because it bothered me so much, because I was like, how did I do this for a living? Like, I was embarrassed. Okay, I was embarrassed, y'all, full transparency. And this shaman friend said to me, the person that is right for you, like, what you're asking for is not so monumental. This is a very conservative person that's in a long-term connection, okay? So what I am asking for is a little more conventional. I don't put any labels on it, and I'm not the typical labels that you might think this is. And she said, the person that is going to love you is going to love you immediately. They're not going to withhold and do all this other weird shit and play these mind games. All the things that you are asking for will be done without disdain, without disgust, without reluctance, and all the rest of it. Their attraction will be made clear and whatever. And there were moments of clarity in that, but moments of clarity that I created, and then, whatever. So that word from that shaman friend, you know who you are. I heart you. It was a salve my heart needed to disembark, because I was thinking, I was so gaslit for a minute. I was like, is what I'm asking for this hard? And she was like, girl, you're a manifestor and a creator. Are you fucking kidding me? Essentially. She didn't say it that way, but yeah, essentially. No, what I'm asking for is not that hard. And then guess what happened? As soon as I disembarked, the universe was like, we were just waiting for you to get rid of it and get rid of her, so that you can understand that you can have whatever you like. Even if you don't like what's being offered, you know? But one day there will be an offer. And maybe I'll be a lot more quiet about it because, oh, that's something else I learned in this too. Incubate, incubate, incubate. In any case, that's the message for you. Your lemon blueberry cake is on the way when you do the right thing. When they say God will restore the years of the locusts have eaten, it means that God will replenish and replace everything you thought that you weren't going to get. How delightful to just be existing today and working and making videos, and then a lemon blueberry cake is put in my lap. And my husband has no idea that it's an inside joke between me and my angels and you. You, the collective that know, that watch the video. You guys get it. You will have whatever you want, and you'll be rewarded when you get away from people that were toxic, that weren't going to do you right. The reason I've gotten the rewards, the validation, and the shot that I've gotten, it's because I wasn't even aware that all that was in the wings for me. The last time something like this happened was when I left another long-term in 20 years narc, the one that started essentially helped me to, I mean, I started the channel before we were going through the thing, but we were kind of going through the thing as that was all happening. But a lot of the content in the beginning was about me getting out of that relationship and understanding about covert narcissism and whatever. And I must say, these two paralleled. It's probably why I was so attracted. It's funny how our brains will redact all the bullshit we just went through and then be like, oh no, I'll pick you again. And then it's like the same thing. That was a big lesson for me, is like, let your angels pick this time. I'm going to be on my angels dating channel. I'm like, okay, I do this bad. But they had a lot of similarities. Total different ethnicities, total different walks of life, total different experiences. Some similarities. Toxic mothers for sure. I don't want to say toxic mothers, that's relative. One mother was super toxic. The other one, whatever. I don't know if she was toxic. She loves her daughter in her own way. I can't hate too much on that. I think all moms love their daughters in their own, but if you have a mother wound, you know what I'm saying about there can be toxic mothers. Mothers that are haters, I should say that more than toxic. That for sure. They had parallels there. They also had parallels regarding the level of attraction that I had for both of them. Except I like this new one probably more. She was far more suited for me even than the ex. And isn't that funny? Ain't it funny? You had me. Listen, that's another message. And another thing. You guys will be outside dating thinking that you will not like someone more than you liked whoever broke your heart, which is wild and weird to me. For a long time, I may have thought the same thing, but then I ended up liking this one, and I still walked away from her, that part, but I liked her way more than I even liked my ex. I was like, oh my God, did I even like my ex? Isn't that funny how that goes? And you couldn't pay me to think that I was going to feel that or have those emotions at all. Her potential was infinite to me. I was like, girl, you want to take over the world? I got you, boo. But that was not what my angels wanted me to do. But that's just maybe an aside for someone who's like, oh, who could ever and how could it ever? I don't know how, but that's what I don't do. I leave the details up to my beautiful spirit team, which always has me. Right down to a blueberry cake hand delivered from someone who does love me. Okay. I leave it up to my spirit team to fill in the details and fill in the blank about how it's going to be better. And so what happens now, because of my scorpionic placement, which is in my 8th house where endings happen, it used to make me sad. I've told you about that. If you watch the other video, I talk about that. But now I'm excited because I'm like, what's next? Like, how are you going to get better than this? That's the attitude I want you guys to have, because I promise you they top themselves all the time. Some issues happen in the just little ways that the universe has spoken to me over the last couple months. It's been so sweet. So it's little touches that no one would know but me and the universe. It's so sweet. And then there have been overarching big ass gestures, and I've been like, oh my God, I would never have seen this coming. I had no idea, blindsided. But the truth of the matter is this. You get whatever you want, and you get whatever you like, because they love you. And if they ask you to step away from something, then listen, be obedient, because the angels will always do it better than you, and you don't know what that person was about to do to you. And that was the warning that it came with. Both things are true. Best date of my life, a whole ass movie, also a nightmare. That back to back, and I did not want to get back to that. So same, just like I had to leave toxic twin, I had to leave fun ass cosmic soulmate, because I was like, yeah, this is not gonna be great. And I do not want to write a page about you. I don't want to write you into a chapter of my book beyond this happened. Does that make sense? We will always create content from our experiences, a la Taylor Swift, a la Kendrick Lamar, but the truth is, you are the one that gets to stop things from going too far. And the kind of recovery I had to do from the toxic twin, I'm never willing to put into anybody else. So as soon as I see that they are making bad decisions, or they're being infiltrated by their hating ass mamas and whatever else, then that's when I divest, because I'm like, I can't do anything, so say less. And you will have to figure this out. You'll realize who I was later, years from now. You know, that part. Let people realize who you are. Your absence is always the best teacher. But the caveat with that is don't run hoping they chase you. I ran running. Okay. When I say I ran away. I was on some Kanye, run away. I wanted no parts. I never wanted to spin the block. I don't care what she had to say, because it was someone who was playing with my heart. And my heart creates a lot of healthy healing pathways for other people. You have to love yourself enough to know that you can't afford to have someone play with you, because it could hinder someone else's growth. My favorite quote, Deepak Chopra: there are people waiting for who you're becoming. And if you're in a toxic relationship and it is stunting your growth, then other people don't get the fullness of you to show up in the future, because you're going to come in addled and hurt and atrophied and very careful. PTSD, the wounded warrior, the 9 of Wands. You're going to come in like, I can't really get too close. I can't really pair bond because someone fucked you up that was just playing with you for fun because they didn't know what the fuck was going on in their life or who they were, what they wanted to be, or what they wanted to do. Don't let that happen to you. We all have had it happen. Do not be a casualty to someone else's ambivalence in their own life, okay? Anyway, y'all, that's it. Lemon blueberry cakes for everybody. You get a lemon blueberry cake, and if you're obedient, the angels will make sure your version of whatever the lemon blueberry cake is will find its way to you, because you have empath work to do, and they don't want us to just be miserable. Life is sweet. So even if you are diabetic and you're not supposed to eat this lemon blueberry cake, that's not my life, but still, I shouldn't be eating this lemon blueberry cake. But even if you can enjoy it actually, then pay attention to the picture, because the symbology is there. And what this means for you, if you listen to this video today, is that you have a reward and a little angelic tap on the shoulder, with them giving you something where they say, we see you, we love you, and we're proud of you. You cut off something that would have been easier to hang on to, because you loved you and you chose you, and so we choose you too, and now the world will choose you too. So good sharing energy with you guys. Let them eat cake. And still like dust, we rise. So good. Come back and join me next time. We'll continue to evolve together.